Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping straight into something pretty cool. The resto-mod craze that's hitting the vintage Tamiya RC car scene.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We're focusing particularly on Jun Watanabe and his brand, Blockhead Motors.
Exactly. Think back to those iconic 1980s Tamiya buggies. They weren't just toys, right? They were these little design statements.
Absolutely. Real pieces of innovation for their time, miniaturized.
So now imagine taking those classics and giving them a modern twist. A bit like, what you see with classic cars. That's what this deep dive is all about.
It's this blend of nostalgia and, well, high-level design sensibility meeting the RC hobby.
And this resto-modding idea, taking something old, keeping the soul, but updating it. That's key here. Jun Watanabe and Blockhead Motors, they aren't just like randomly throwing new parts at old cars.
No, not at all. They've built this distinct brand, a whole aesthetic around these Tamiya classics.
Making them into sort of usable art pieces. It's really interesting. So maybe we should first pin down what resto-mod actually means in this RC context.
Sure. I mean, at its heart, it's about respecting that original look, the vibe, but enhancing how they actually perform and, frankly, how long they last.
Okay, so better electronics, maybe.
Yeah.
Stronger materials.
Exactly that. Plus a personalized style, but one that still feels, true to the original car's spirit.
But I guess within the RC community itself, there must be different opinions on this, like how much modification is too much.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a spectrum. You've got the purists, the ones who value complete box art originality above all else.
Elf queens, basically.
Sometimes, yeah. And then you've got others who see these vintage kits as, well, platforms for evolution, for creativity.
So it kind of boils down to what you, the owner, want out of it. History lesson or modern fun?
Pretty much. Personal enjoyment, creative vision that often takes priority in the resto-mod world.
And a huge driver behind this specific Tamiya trend is Jun Watanabe. For listeners who might not know him, what's his story? What makes him so central to this?
Well, the key thing is he's got this genuine lifelong passion for Tamiya RC cars. He grew up with them. But he also has this serious professional background as a graphic designer.
In the fashion world, right.
Exactly. So that combination gives him this unique perspective. Credibility, too. He's not just jumping on a bandwagon.
He gets it. He's one of them. But with professional design chops, were there clues this Blockhead Motors thing was coming?
Yeah.
Early projects?
Definitely. Back in 2012, he did a collaboration with Tamiya, a Hornet, but with this wild polka dot livery.
I remember that. It was different.
It really stood out, showed you could play with the aesthetic, and he also did Tamiya apparel designs, sort of hinting at building more of a lifestyle brand around it.
Which leads us right into Blockhead Motors. What's the core vision there?
It's really focused on taking those classic 80s Tamiya off-road buggies, the Hornet, the Wild One, Hot Shot, and injecting this 1970s American motorsport vibe into them.
Retro racers.
Yeah. Retro racers, enhanced realism. And because Watanabe is both a fan and a pro designer, the results feel authentic, but also look incredibly sharp. Designed,
It really feels like Blockhead is selling more than just hop-up parts. It's like a whole design package. What kind of stuff do they offer?
Precisely. Decals, the sticker sheets, they're absolutely crucial for getting that signature Blockhead look. That's probably the core.
Okay.
But then there's apparel too, t-shirts, hats, extending the brand, and of course the customized kits done with Tamiya. And they're even starting to hint at more functional parts, like carbon fiber bits or gears.
So if you see one, you kind of know it's a Blockhead build.
Yeah.
What are the visual cues?
Often, yeah. You'll see specific color palettes, lots of blues typically. And those very distinct retro-style racing graphics and logos, it provides this cohesive identity.
Like a curated look. Makes it maybe more accessible if you aren't a graphic designer yourself.
Exactly. It gives you a kind of blueprint for cool, through the details and the official kits especially.
Let's talk about those official Tamiya collaborations. That seems like a massive deal, a real stamp of approval. The Wild One Off-Roader Blockhead Motors edition, what set that one apart?
That was huge. It was basically Tamiya saying, okay, we see the style, we like it, we're backing it. Watanabe designed this unique light blue pre-painted body, a whole new sticker set.
Extra details too, right?
Yeah, like window nets, number plates, a little dummy antenna. Tamiya USA even called it a special release with a twist. Really sums it up.
And then they did it again with the Hot Shot 2 Blockhead motor, another classic reimagining.
Right. That brought back the 1987 Hot Shot 2, but with Watanabe's tweaks. A totally new blue and white color scheme, driver position changed slightly, redesigned upper deck and roll cage pieces.
That's the Blockhead specific parts.
Yep, his signature side guards, number plates, even a motor sticker. Matte finish plated parts. It was the second big Watanabe re-release, really solidified the partnership.
Okay, so the common threads seem to be these unique pre-painted bodies, often blue, the signature decals, and these enhanced aesthetic details like nets or plated parts. What's the big impact of Tamiya getting officially involved?
Well, it gives massive legitimacy to this whole resto-mod style within the hobby. It says it's okay, it's cool, it's sanctioned, almost.
Attracts new people, maybe?
Definitely. People who like the look but maybe weren't deep into vintage RC before. And it sets a quality standard for this kind of build.
So let's pull back a bit. What is the fundamental appeal here? Why are people drawn to these Tamiya resto-mods, especially the Blockhead ones?
I think it's a few things. Nostalgia is huge, obviously, reliving those 80s memories. But critically, it's nostalgia reimagined. They're usable.
It's because of the modern upgrade.
Exactly. Modern electronics, maybe slightly tougher parts. They're more reliable, more fun to actually run than a fragile, purely vintage model might be.
And the cool factor.
Absolutely central. Watanabe's design skill makes them genuinely desirable objects. They look cool. There's a sense of belonging to a specific aesthetic tribe, almost.
How does it stack up against, say, a meticulous vintage restoration or just, someone throwing modern brushless power into an old grasshopper?
Well, a pure restoration is all about box art accuracy, period parts. Amazing, but maybe you don't want to drive it hard.
Less modernizing for speed might ignore the looks, the original spirit. Blockhead tries to be sympathetic modernization. It enhances without hopefully ruining the core appeal.
Plus, owning a Blockhead car connects you to something recognized, a designer's vision, a trend.
Yeah, hobbies are social. Having one of the official Tamiya kits especially gives it that extra validation. Cultural capital, you could say.
Okay, so wrapping up. The Tamiya resto-mod movement with Jun Watanabe and Blockhead Motors right at the forefront. It's really this fascinating blend of appreciating the vintage, the history, but making it relevant and usable today through considered design. Couldn't have said it better. It's nostalgia, but functional. It's got that cool factor, usability, and that community connection.
And they've really shown that value in the RC hobby doesn't just have to come from rarity or perfect original condition.
Right. Thoughtful reinterpretation, clever branding, artistic vision that can create value too.
Which leads to a final thought for you to ponder. How else might we see this kind of designer collaboration, this resto-mod approach, start to reshape other areas, other classic products, other heritage brands? What else could use a bit of that Jun Watanabe magic?
Interesting question. Lots to think about there.
Indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.